Okay. So it doesn't show me if I'm showing you correctly. So I just want to make sure everybody can see my screen. I'm in maxtech.me, which is where you can access all of your tools and resources. Can everybody see this screen before I continue?
Yep, that's good.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open CloudCMA, which is going to be under your apps right in here. It's a green icon. And Debbie, if you want me to clarify, just stop me anytime during the training, you know, to help me.
The only thing that I want to point out is if you have not signed up for CloudCMA in the past, you will need to go in through Lead Street first to sign up. So let's try. I think everybody probably is CloudCMA, has been logged in before. That's my guess. So just, yeah, continue on, but we'll see.
Okay.
If anybody has any trouble, that could be why.
And we can help you set up too. So just let us know as well. So we'll just click this green icon here with the green cloud, and it's called CloudCMA. And you'll have different options here up at the top. You've got CMA for the sellers to make comparables. You've got the buyer tour where you can type in MLS numbers for any of your upcoming showings. And then property and flyer, I'm not going to go into too much detail with those. That's just like a one-page PDF if you wanted to do a flyer or just show property details of something that you have listed for sale, or just a property in general that, you know, a buyer's interested in learning more about. So the ones I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you the CMA, and then we'll also show you the buyer tour for the buyers as well. So you're going to click on CMA. So when you get into the program here, you'll click on CMA, you go to create CMA report. And just to let everybody know, I don't have notes, but I am recording so that you'll be able to use this as a tool and resource to look back on when we share the video with you. So you'll click Create CMA Report. You'll give it a name. You can either type in your client's name, or here I'm just going to put in test. And then it'll ask you for the subject property so you can compare comps to. I'm going to go ahead and just type in an address. And as I start typing, you can see it has a drop-down menu, and I'm looking for 2830 Carnoustie in Okemos. And it generates some of the details about the property. Says it's a residential. Now, when we scroll down here, it's allowing me to have two options. I can either type in MLS numbers that I want to have comps for, or I can do their quick and dirty. So for this example, I'm just going to do their quick and dirty. I'm going to automatically check this box to find listings near the subject property. I would like at least 10 listings, and I'm going to go back 6 months. So when you click this, you'll see it allows you to go back to 17 months, 16 months, 1 month, up to 3 years. And I'm going to click 6 months, and then I'm going to scroll down to this green button, and I'm going to click Fetch Listings, and just give it a second, and it'll fetch the listings for you. And this is where you can create adjustments, details and adjustments. So if your team lead has an adjustment sheet, you can create adjustments on the property.
Jen?
Yes.
So I did all that because I'm doing it along with you. And
Okay.
I had a little box that popped up that says invalid MLS user ID and password. Is that what Debbie was talking about, that apparently I'm not signed in?
Yep. Type in, you're not going to want it's not your email. You're going to want your 5-digit number in Flex MLS. It's that 5-digit number. It's not MM dot, you know.
Right. But I mean, there's,
I think that makes sense.
I don't even know where you would put that in. It doesn't give me a box or anything. It just says invalid MLS user ID and password. So I don't even know where that would be.
Is that Erin? Who is
Yeah.
that Erin?
Yeah, Erin.
Okay, Erin, while she's teaching this class, I'm going to go ahead and go in and make sure you're signed up and sign you up right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I literally want this for later on this afternoon, so I need to get it.
Not a problem.
Okay, you've got that then, Debbie. Okay, that sounds good. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Debbie.
So then we'll continue with the next page here. You can see now it's telling you what all of these properties, it's saying, hey, all of these are comparables. The one grayed out The listings that are grayed out, it says it thinks that those don't make great comparables, but you can always check those next here in this box, check the box and make those a comparable. You can uncheck what you don't think would be a good comparable. So for this example, I'm just going to scroll down, uncheck and check some listings that I think would make good comparables, and then some that don't make good comparables. Now, if I wanted to make adjustments with the adjustment sheet, you're going to click details and adjustments right here. It's this little tiny word text down here. It says details and adjustments. When you click on that, it opens this little box with a picture of the property, the details, the flex remarks. If you scroll down, you'll see these are the adjustments. This is where you can type in an adjustment and give it a value. So for this, I'm just going to do a value of 500. It'll automatically have a save button right here that you can click save to make your changes. And then you'll scroll up and click update. And then it'll tell you that your adjustment is 375.5. So it tells you what your adjustment value is and what the current price of the property is. So now what we can do, that's what I just wanted to show you. And if there's any questions or anything, just stop me and I can clarify if I'm going too fast or not. Now we'll scroll down to Customize Report, which is this big green button down here. Customize Report. This is kind of nice because this is where you can move tabs and have like a template, if you will, of where you want all of your, like how you want to put it together when you show someone CMA. So this program makes it user-friendly. You can have a cover page, you can have a title page, you can have a map of all your listings, you can have a summary of all of the comparables that you have listed. And so this is kind of nice because it lets you move it around in different orders. You just grab one of the tabs and you can move it. It's got a seller's net sheet in here. You can move that around. It's got text about staging your home, showings, open house checklist, moving checklist. If you don't want something to be printed or you don't want something in your report, you can click this red, like this red button right here, and it'll take it out. So let's say you don't want moving checklist. You don't want your sellers to see that. You can just take that out and it'll go away and disappear. And what's kind of nice about all of these options and tabs here is you can create a template. So you can go back to a CMA and it'll already have all of your tabs already in there. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can create a template, save the template, and then when you go back in, it'll have all of these tabs exactly in this order that you like it. So you're not redoing it every single time. Debbie, anything that I should clarify, just let me know.
I'm finishing up, Erin, so let me just double check.
Okay.
The only thing I as I'm listening is there are, if you go under the template little tab there are templates that you can go ahead and look at and see if the templates you want to use. I would just say save your own template and just name it however you want to name it. And just
So you can save
it.
your template here.
Yeah,
Give it a
under
name.
templates. So then you can just know that that's a template you're going to use every time, and you know it doesn't have any dumb pages in it that you don't want, or 20 Remax ads or whatever. So you can set that up, that list up any way you want. And there are different, you know, maybe a first-time home buyer, you're going to have different things in than you would for somebody who's, you know, 60 and has bought 10 houses. So there's certain things that in here that could be useful for a new buyer. But, or I mean, a seller who really hasn't sold before. That's right. I'm not on buyers, I'm on sellers. So, you know, just depends. You can just read through all of this stuff and see what you want in your report. But that's okay. That's it for me.
Okay.
Hey,
And
Jen,
then
I have a question. This is Melissa. So,
Oh, yes, same Melissa.
list. So when you delete one of those items and then you say, ooh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. How do you bring it back?
Sure. And so that's what's here on the left. And you can go in and you can then click the plus sign and that'll bring it back.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, Jen,
So-
I have a question also.
Sure.
Instead of using the system to fetch your listings, I always usually look up my own and I put the MLS numbers in myself.
Okay.
And then, then I look it over and then sometimes I'm like, yeah, I need to delete one of those. So I go back to the first page and I delete that and then I put update and it won't delete it. So can you try it and see if it will delete it?
So what you do is you type in your own MLS numbers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
And
See,
Yeah.
like right there under exact listings. And I have some MLS numbers that I just found in a file.
okay.
wanna
So
put 'em
instead of
in.
doing quick and dirty, okay, go ahead.
Right, okay, try 249 924 and 252 350 and 240 018. And I usually put them all in a row with a comma in between. I don't know if it'll work the way you're doing it. I'm sure you
Yeah,
know.
it will. You can do it either
Okay.
way.
Yeah,
Okay.
either way, sure. Okay, so let's try this. So in that case, if I had numbers, their MLS numbers, I would want to make sure this is unchecked. So we're not going to do quick and dirty. That's why it says or, either or you can do. So we'll do exact listings. Go back to update. And I just clicked the back button and then I clicked update listings. Now it scrolls down and it has, so what it's going to do is it's going to pull those and then it's going to pull all of the other ones that it thought would make good comparables. So I don't know which ones, I'm guessing these are the ones that we just pulled in, right? Porter, Young.
Yeah, but
and
you still
66.
have, it still has all of your Okemos listings on there from your
Yeah.
search. It didn't clear those off for some reason.
So we can, in this case, we can just uncheck them since it's going to pull those comparables based on what the program thinks. And then we can pull, I don't know which one this is, but we can pull those off and just uncheck. So then it'll just focus on these three.
Yeah, I think it's a glitch. Sometimes CloudCMA has a couple glitchy things, and that's probably
Yeah.
a glitch. Yeah.
There are a couple of glitches that we've got to get around. That's the only drawback. So just unclick and uncheck the box. That's what you have to do in this case, is just uncheck the box. So then you
Right,
just
but if you wanna take one of those off, because I always just find my own comps, then you have to start and do your whole report over again.
Yeah, so just one thought. I was just thinking, you use the 28 Karnowski, Jen.
Yeah.
So Kelly, wouldn't we need to put in a different address if you
Yeah,
pulled
like
in
if she
other ones?
started a brand new CMA
Yeah.
and you put like the seller's address in
Right.
and you put in your own MLS numbers,
Mm-hmm.
it pulled them up, and then you decided to take one off, it won't remove it. Then you have to close that whole CMA out, start a complete new CMA, because it won't remove.
correct.
Oh, all right.
Right. So then I would have to start a completely new one.
So couldn't you just uncheck the one that you didn't want in there? On
Right,
the-
and then you push update, but it won't remove it off the CMA, is what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't run across that yet.
So I'm guessing that's one of the glitches then with the program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, now I did it in here. I just refreshed the page and now it doesn't have any of those in there. It just has the 3 MLS numbers and then the Carnegie listing.
So it just needed a page refresh? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying?
just had to refresh the page,
Hmm.
at least in this example. So just try refreshing the page. Now all we've got are these listings right here. We don't have all those that we just saw. So now I'm going to continue to the next step, which is to customize, which is where we were before, where we were able to delete pages and add pages, delete tabs and add some tabs. And if this is how you want it, you would just click over here where it says template. Click this little icon right here next to template, and you're going to save as a template. And it'll tell you it's currently 15 pages long. And then you'll click that and you'll give it a name. You want to make sure you name your template so that you can go back to it later and not have to recreate all those pages and put them in the order. And then what we'll do is we'll click this green button over here that says publish, because I want to show you what it looks like when it's all published. And you'll have to give it a sec. It does take a little bit of time to publish. So right now it's publishing. It's going to publish it as a PDF, and it's going to publish it as a live view. And then you can email that to yourself as well. So when it's done publishing, you'll go back up here to CMA to make sure that it's saved and it's in the list, and it is. Here it is. These 3 dots up in the top right will allow me to email the report, copy the link. I can view the slideshow. Slideshow's like a PowerPoint presentation. It's like a slideshow, basically, that you can access on your mobile phone. It's very user-friendly. So in this case, I'm going to email it. You can email it to your sellers. You can email it to yourself. You can give it a subject name. You can give it an introduction. You can give it a subject line. And then down here, you're going to click that you want to show the slideshow report, not the PDF, but the slideshow report and the live report. And I'm going to send this to myself. And CloudCMA has a glitch where you can only send it 1 email at a time. So if you have two seller clients, make sure you do 1 email at a time that you send to them. That was one thing that Debbie and I noticed in this program. So once you have that good, then you'll go ahead and you'll click send, and it shouldn't take that long to get to you. And like I said, you can open this up on your computer. Yeah, go ahead.
Erin, you're all set. You had the password in here, and I put your 5-digit in here. So go ahead. If you wanted to get back in and play, you should be ready to go.
Yep, I just tried it again like 10 seconds ago and it went in.
Okay,
Thanks.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So now I notice that it's in my email, and I will reshare my screen here so you can, let me see if I can get it in here. And it'll pop up in your email as well. So now it's in my email. I'm not sure if you can see this screen, but it should be in my email, and it'll come through with a subject line, and it'll say that this is the test 1 for Carnoustie listing, and I can view the slideshow. So I'm going to click view slideshow. Can everybody see the screen? Is it showing you the correct screen?
Yep.
Comparative market analysis? Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure. Okay. So let me move your boxes. Okay. So this you can view on your mobile phone. It's very user friendly. You'll see over here in the bottom right, there's some arrows, but you can go through it and it'll give you a map. It'll show you where the listings are. We've got sold homes. And I'm really zoomed in here, so I can zoom out too, but you'll get the idea. And it's basically just going to the left, going to the right through this user-friendly slideshow rather than just a boring PDF report. So they can see the house, the pictures of the house. They can see the average comparable of homes, and it will have your branding in the bottom left. So don't worry, it'll have your name, your website, and your email in the bottom left as well. And then my last page just says thank you. So that gives you an idea of what the CloudCMA looks like for when you send it to your seller and your client, what it looks like in email.
Jen, can you go back to one of the properties and hit the down arrow so they can see what's under?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Right.
So if I click the down arrow, yep. Sorry. It'll give me all the other photos. It doesn't just show you the one photo. It'll show you all of the photos. And then if you click down again, Shows you some more photos. If you keep scrolling down, it does show you all the photos. You just have to I'm on the laptop computer here, and it'll just show you all of the photos as you scroll up. As you scroll up and as you scroll down. We can do another example like this house. I'm just using the arrows, the down arrows right here. And it'll show you all of the photos. And they can see it. It's just a really nice layout. It's just a really nice view. Is that what you meant, Debbie?
Yep, yep.
To see the photos. Okay. And then
All
at
right,
the top,
guys, I'm back now. I totally had a big failure, so I had to completely get out of my computer and sign back in. Apparently, it wanted a Zoom update right now. So.
oh, geez. Oh, geez. Well, welcome back.
Anyway.
So the top left, it'll have the address of the property, the beds, the baths, the square feet, and the top right, it'll have the price, and if it's A, B, pending, sold, and when it was pending. It'll have all that information either in the top left, it'll have information in the top right, and then in the bottom, it'll have the arrows for navigating up, down, left, and right to the sides. All right, so that's what your email will look like. That's what it'll look like for the sellers, whether it comes through on their phone or whether it comes through an email on their computer, and they'll be able to click view slideshow. And it's just really nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the CMA. So that's kind of the gist of the CMA. Let me zoom in here. And now I'll show you the buyer tour. So if we click buyer tour, this is kind of nice because this is where you'll put in all of your MLSs for the upcoming showings. And you can also email this report as well to your clients. You can
Is
email
this one that has a problem with multiple emails, or do you still have to do one at a time?
Same thing. Yeah, I don't know
Same-
why there's
okay.
that glitch. It just is.
Okay.
It's for yep, it's for all of them.
What we found is that
Yeah.
every time we send it to multiple emails, one of the emails would just get a PDF and not the slideshow or live view.
I think that's what we were doing that one day, Debbie. I think that,
Yep,
It
that's
was-
exactly,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. I'll never forget, we had that issue. I'm like, I never had this issue. And it was because we were doing multiple email addresses. Mhm.
Well, it's good to know. At least we know how to maneuver around it.
Yep, so that's exactly what was happening.
So unfortunately, that's the glitch that we haven't figured out just yet. So just type in one email at a time when you send it to your buyer, when you send it to your seller, or when you send it to yourself. So yep, same thing for buyer tours. So we're going to create a buyer tour. Same thing, you need to give it a name. You can
I
either
ask
call
a
it,
question really quick? Sorry, before you get into buyer tour on
Yep.
the CMA. So I just did a super quick one, and I did not get the three little dots to view it. Like I just had the option of either view PDF or view live. And when I view live, didn't look anything like what you had on the screen.
did you go back up to the top to refresh? That's another glitch, right, Debbie?
Yeah,
No, I mean, it pulled up view live. I mean, but when I did it, it doesn't look anything like what you had going on.
Are you doing a
And it-
CloudCMA or a buyer tour?
I was in the CloudCMA and I had just clicked it because I caught up with doing the stuff, and it's like, it doesn't look anything like what you had up on the screen. It gives me, and I don't know how to share my screen. Yeah, I have that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this, right. So because what comes in an email is going to be a little bit, what comes in an email is the slideshow, and this is like their live form.
Okay, well, how did you
And
get
I just
to
clicked
that?
view live.
Right. Well, I'm looking at that too. And when I click view live, I get the screen that you have right now. And if I do a PDF, it's obviously just sheets that I scroll through. Like I don't have It doesn't look like what you're showing right now on my screen.
Okay, when you click the 3 dots to email the report.
I don't have the 3 dots. That's the problem.
Okay,
It is not, there is not these boxes. Maybe it's because I only have one, but it is just not, it's not there.
and you
Don't you
finish,
like-
Okay, I was on a different screen. Never mind. I was on a different screen. You like went back to CMAs and this was just right when it got done.
yep, I just refreshed. I went back to CMA. I clicked on the 3 dots of the one I just did. I
Yeah,
clicked email report. And right now, I want to make sure that the live report is checked. I can uncheck PDF and uncheck slideshow, and then I can email myself the live report. So there's 3 different visuals.
okay,
So the
So
one
then-
we were just looking at was live.
okay. I have all that. That makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Then my second question is just in regards to like the CMA, and maybe this isn't the forum for that, but you know, there's that place where you can do adjustments. How do you get, you know, any kind of ballpark numbers for what would be adjustments for stuff? Like, I mean, obviously I can be like, okay, well, this has 2.5 bathrooms and this one has 2. How do you put a monetary amount on that? Like, I mean, I can look at it and be like, okay, they're going to get a little bit more value probably, or this has a finished basement and this one doesn't. But to actually make an adjustment so it shows it on there, where do you even get those figures? Is there like a sheet somewhere? Is there something that's sort of comprehensive that is ballpark of what appraisers use? Like, that's my hardest thing of trying to do a CMA is making adjustments.
It's a
I'm like,
great
this is just-
question. And actually, I asked my team leader, and she has a cheat sheet kind of thing. So
no, we need one
maybe-
of those.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
you need
to-
a cheat sheet from Peter.
You know what the problem is a lot of these seasoned agents have a cheat sheet in their head,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, yeah, and there are adjustment sheets. I mean, I know a lot of people have them. But
They change all the time too. So if
Right.
if it's from 4 years ago, it's not going to be relevant today.
Sure.
Just
I mean,
make it up.
Yeah.
Well, but see, that's just, I know, but that's what you feel like you're doing. You're like, okay, this is just an arbitrary number. Doesn't make sense. I mean, I can put 5 houses together and I can sit there with the seller or the buyer and explain to them, you know, why they might get more for this one or less for that one. But putting a number in to adjust it is where I struggle. And then other than that, otherwise I feel like I'm doing the exact same thing as Zillow. I'm just putting houses together and it's just averaging and pulling it out. So I mean, what is the value in that? That's the problem. Is it drives me bonkers. Every time I go to do I'm doing a really good CMA this time. And it's the adjustment part that gets me. Like I don't know where to start to even get those.
But you're not
those
alone.
numbers.
You're not
So,
alone
That's good.
at all, because I feel that way every single time. I don't know if there's any great way around that, but you're not alone at all.
All right, that
Not
was
that
my
that
question.
helps, but
Yeah, I mean, you're not answering it at all, Jennifer, but let's move on to the buyer tool.
I don't have an adjustment sheet for you, Erin. I'm
That's
sorry.
not my problem. You need to fix it.
maybe
I
that would be something you could add to it. Is it something they can add?
Well, you know, we try and be careful because your team leaders may actually not want us to give out, you know, adjustment sheets. And honestly, I don't have one. I'd have to go to a team leader and see if they had one. So it's kind of, you know, I don't know. We can try and find one. I've thought about trying to find one. So if
even
we
if it's
find
just-
one, yeah, if we find one, what we'll do is we will,
Sorry about that, man. I heard you, but
we'll throw it
I
in
just
files
got
on
knocked from my
inside.
desk, so
Mm.
I'm back now.
It just seems like it'd be something that just a base thing. It's not like, I mean, you obviously can make your own thought process of like, okay, well, you know, this fireplace might be, on average, they give an extra $1,000 for a fireplace, but this
your
fireplace
team's
goes to the ceiling
I
and
heard
it is
go
like
blue.
really high end. So you obviously can make your own adjustments. It's not cut and dry, but to have something that's somewhat
because
of a
Teams doesn't
baseline to
use
give you
It's
an
like a
idea.
guideline, right? Like,
Yeah.
like is a half bath 2,500 or is a half bath
All right, well,
5,000?
whatever.
you know, and honestly, right now with build jobs being so expensive and the cost of lumber higher, are they worth a little bit more now? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Do
Right?
any of you, oh, I'm sorry. Do any of you have an appraiser
going on
that
for you?
you're, you know, close enough with that you can just call and ask those kind of questions?
Not on any kind of regular basis. Because it would have to be house by house. I mean, then they're just doing their job, their job.
You know, let me try and reach out to Beth Graham or Dave Molinar and see if I'll make a note and see if either one of them have a cheat sheet that realtors use from, you know, so I will do that.
Didn't you have a cheat sheet for adjustments?
I'm friends
Okay.
with both of them on Facebook,
Here
so
it
I'll
has
just
half
send them a
hours
private
is one
message.
bathroom. Didn't you say you had?
Okay,
a
that
cheat
sounds
sheet
good.
for
Thanks,
both?
Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you click
For
view
CMA.
live, you'll come to a report that looks similar to this on your computer. And this is a live report. So I'm just showing you different visuals and what they'll each look like. And this is kind of, again, this is really nice. You can click on each box. Like this one says why Remax.
Oh, that's fun.
It's just really colorful and
I
it's
love
really
cheat sheets.
nice. Up here, this hamburger menu right up here in the top
It's
left
fine
will
with
kind
you.
of, it's kind of like a toolbar where you can click on different ones. You can click the 2020 market share and it'll show you that. Some of them, and this gives you the graph right here. #1 in Michigan. We can click what is a CMA, and this is something that the seller will be looking at. And they can see, okay, we chose to keep this page in. What is a CMA? And this kind of will explain it to them. What is a CMA? We can show them our comps. This kind of gives it more of a list view, like in a table, and they can see all of our comps and what we've chosen, the listing details, the original price, days on the market. They can click on these. These are all links that you can click on. And when they click on it, they can scroll through and take a look at all of the different photos of the listing. They can scroll down and see how many days on the market it's been listed, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the year built, the public remarks from Flex. It's all being taken from Flex. Details about the property and then the current school system and what school it's in.
Live view is relatively new, and it's my favorite one because it gives a seller a little more control instead of just doing a slideshow where they have to go through every single button. They can kind of zero in on whatever they want to zero in on with the live view. I think it's a better look.
And it's just really nice. We can click on another one. So it just has a really nice view with photos, details. And again, this is something that you can email them. This is called the live view. You have a PDF view, you have a slideshow view, which I had shown you before, and then you have a live view, and this is the live view, and they can view this on their phone, which is really nice for those who are more of a phone user rather than computer. And it's just really nice to have.
Well, that's a cute kitchen.
We can go and click on average pricing, and there's graphs and charts. Some sellers like to look at more statistics and data. You don't need to include everything. It's just what your seller prefers. If they like bar charts and all of that stuff, then they would really appreciate all of the data that's in these CMAs as well. And you can just see there's more of what Zillow says versus what the listing price is. You can take out the estimates as well. You don't have to have those in there. So that's that for CMA. The one now I'm going to go over is the buyer tour, which is right here. It's the second one, buyer tour. And we're going to create a buyer tour. And I'll put the client name. I'll just put test 2. And then it wants you to input the MLS numbers. We'll just throw in some MLS numbers. And then we'll click fetch listings, this green button up here. The green button can also be found down here as well, but we'll click fetch listings. and we'll let us show those 3 listings that we have, and it'll have this really nice map here that we can see where the listings are all located. If we scroll down, it's got something very similar. You can uncheck, check. You can look at the details of the property by clicking details right here. It'll give you the photos. It'll give you the details of the property. It'll give you the public remarks. And it'll give you all of this detail as well. Or we can uncheck it. We can check the boxes. Then we can click customize report, and this is where it'll give us all those pages that was similar to the CMA. You can see it gives you a lot of pages. This listing page tells you it's including the details, it's including the first 12 photos, it's including the school district it's in, and it's including the area restaurants, so the nearby mom and pop as well as chain restaurants that are around the area. If you don't want that, you can click the red and exclude it. And let's say you want it back, you would just click on the green for schools and area restaurants, and you can see it'll pop it back. And you can, again, move these out of order. You can put these in any order that you want, if you want restaurants to come before schools. So you can move it around, you can take stuff out. If you don't want the buyer to know information about the down payment, you can close that. How long do you plan to stay? If you don't want to include that page, you can take that out. If you don't want to include anything about staging or getting a home inspection, you can take that out too. Your ratings and reviews on Zillow, you can keep that in or you can take it out. You can make this towards the middle if you want them to see your reviews on Zillow rather than towards the end. And so again, you click the green to add and you click the red to delete. And again, before I'm done, I have to save this. I'm going to save this template right here, this box. Save as template. We'll save the template. We'll close out the box. Now we've got the template saved, and we'll click Publish Report. That's the gist of how you create a buyer tour. And then we'll go back up here to refresh our page so that we can see that the buyer tour is currently publishing. And once it's done publishing, it'll allow us to view the PDF and it'll allow us to view the slideshow. It'll also allow us to email the report again, one at a time, to our buyers. We can give it a subject line as well. Type that in. And make sure you check down here which one you want. If you want them to have the slideshow, the more user-friendly over the PDF, and then you'll click send. What questions do you have? Or Debbie, do you have anything to add?
My comments on the buyer tour is I am in love with it. It is so fabulous. So let's say you're going to meet with some people, right? And you want to send them a buyer tour of the properties that you're going to be viewing. And right now, I know, you can only go to one property because it's the only one available. But, there's going to be days where you're going to be showing four or five properties to somebody again. And if you send them a buyer tour like that morning before you go, and it's another way to contact them, first of all, you can just say, I'm going to send you this great buyer tour. It's mobile friendly. It's going to give you all of the pictures of the property. You can make comments on it. So you can use that on your mobile device, or if you take an iPad or whatever. And what you want to do is keep them off Zillow in their car. You want to give them the tool that they can look at the pictures of the property. So by the time you get to property number 4, they forget some details about property number 1. So they can just get right in that buyer tour that you emailed them that morning and look at all those photos of the property. And say, oh, yeah, that's right. Remember, we like the basement in that one, and they can make notes if they want, right in the buyer tour. It's so great. You look professional. You look like you've got the tools to provide them with a great product that takes you literally, for a buyer tour, it takes you, if you have your template set up, it takes you 30 seconds to put a buyer tour together and email to somebody. It's that fast and it's super professional looking, and you're going to look like a rock star, and they're not going to be on Zillow when they're driving around. That's what you want.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Does everybody understand the buyer tour and why you would use it?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, it's great.
And we can view the buyer tour, the slideshow here, same kind of thing with our CMA where we've got the arrows, the left and right arrows down here, where we can go through, scroll down to look at all the rest of the photos. Look at the schools that we've added. And this
And
is what
see
I was
the-
talking. Oh, go
See
ahead.
the little bubble, the little comment bubble or a favorite bubble?
Mhm.
So that's where they can make a comment. They can just hit that bubble and make a comment for themselves. Sorry, Jen.
No, you're fine. I didn't know that. So that's good. That's why I just was putting that in there. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it'll just show you all the different restaurants and schools as we scroll up, and then we can go to the next house. We can look at all the photos of the next house. We can look at the current schools, favorite that.
So they can do all this without downloading an app. This will just be on the link, or
Yep,
how
it's
is
on
that?
a link. They're not downloading anything. It's just, well, they are if it's a PDF.
Okay.
If they're doing the slideshow or the live view, like this is the slideshow view, this is the link.
Mhm.
Yep, see up here, this is the link.
Okay.
Yep. And you can also copy the link and send it to them as a text. I mean, you don't have to email it them. It's just easier if you do that. It's up to you. We were just going over what happens when you email the link to them. And if they're on their phone, they can just view it just like, it looks just like this. I've tried it on my phone, and you can practice emailing it to yourself
Nice.
and looking at it on your phone. And
Mhm.
it's just, yeah, it looks very similar to this. Same idea. So you got the photos. They would just swipe it with their finger. That's really the only difference. So, which is kind of nice for millennials. They would like that.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
But you do have the option to do the PDF version and print it out and put it in a presentation if you're going to take them something and you want that like in front of you. You know, that's an option too. You can always view the PDF, which is going to be like a portrait 8.5 by 11. And the one thing I will say is these are pretty. These are branded to you beautifully. Remax has done a really nice job putting these together. And they're really, really nice pieces, and it makes you look professional. So this would be the version you would print here and put inside your listing package.
Debbie, I think you should stop saying that it makes us look professional, because we are professional. We always look that way.
I
It's
was
like
over
we're
here
not
thinking, oh, what a great smoke screen.
We're not pretending. Exactly. We're not pretending. We
Listen.
actually are professional.
You are. It makes you more professional. But
Thank
I
you.
gotta tell you. So what I do is I train new agents. So new agents, these tools make them look professional before they really know what they're doing.
Amen, sister.
so I'm just going through showing you the PDF of what it looks like with the schools and the restaurants. It's the same pages, just a different layout. That's all it is. But this is great for printing. Absolutely. So you get the idea. You still can see the photos. You can see the details. Current restaurants nearby, schools.
This is great for out-of-town buyers, by the way. If you got out-of-town people that don't know everything, you know, they can say, what restaurants are around here? And you got it right at the tip of your fingers. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because it's in here and they can see. So you can just let them know, hey, that's right in your buyer tour that I sent you. So go ahead and open that up and you can see at the bottom of each property what area restaurants and schools are. So
Absolutely.
And do they print in the order that you put the MLS numbers in?
Boy, isn't that a good question?
for the buyer tour,
Yes.
yes, you can move those around too in whatever.
Oh, yes, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's the order I had them in when I laid them out there. Let me check real quick.
First, Malcolm X, Denora.
Oh, no, it put them in order based on the MLS number. Because I put in 251153 first and it made that number 2. It's putting in 252 first and then 25. It's doing alphabetical for the MLS.
Go back to the input for that and see if you can move it around and see if it changes.
Okay.
So we're going to go and edit.
You mean, and see, because I put this one first and it put it in as the middle one.
But if you go to update listings, go to the next spot.
Okay. Good question.
And scroll down and see sort
Oh.
listings, sort selection.
Move
Yeah.
it.
Because what if you want to tour just a little bit different direction?
Exactly. So you can,
That's true.
now watch. Now let's customize and then publish and see. So we got Malcolm X, Denora in first. Okay.
All right. So we'll go ahead and save that and publish that.
Yep. Just go ahead and publish it. You're good.
That's true. Yeah. Because since we moved them in order, then it should be available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause it'd be really handy if they were in order as the properties you were showing, obviously.
We'll view the PDF first. Yeah, there we go. Malcolm X
Denora
is first.
Yep. So you can rearrange those.
So we had to
Perfect.
rearrange them under the listings before we published the report. And we were able to edit. So when we went back, you see this edit button.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to click edit. I was able to click edit, click listings right here, click listings. And then I scroll down and I just moved them around. I just clicked. See, you can see the hand icon. I just clicked and I was able to move them around. And then I clicked customize report and then I clicked publish and I was all set. That's great. So that way you're able to do that and it'll save your settings.